Hey everybody, welcome to Life, Dorchester's hyper-local source of news, commentary, and analysis. We have an amazing show planned for you today. Actually, Bill and I went to McGonagle's and did a little news headline recap from the pub, which was maybe something we're going to do all the time. And then we have a fantastic conversation with Jeff Thielman, who is the president and CEO of IINE, which is a fantastic organization doing great work with the immigrant and refugee community. We really talked in detail about, some breaking news about Kristi Noem, as well as what immigrants are experiencing at this moment and how his organization and folks like us can help them. The final segment will be the Femmes, which is Boston's party band, an LGBTQ-friendly queer anthem playing party band that is a staple at the Crystal Ballroom in Somerville and has been around the Dorchester scene for a long time. They're going to play some great hits that you will recognize. So stick around for that segment and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to Life. I am here with Bill Forey. And Bill, we have decided to meet in the pub now for our segments, which I think is a great development.
You mean this is going to be a constant? I'm down.
Let's do it. No.
Okay.
Well,
is it always going to be McGonagle's? Because that's okay with me too.
We could do that. We could do a traveling pub show, whatever we need to do.
I wore my Guinness jersey here for a reason. I've noticed they need a little help with the promotions.
They do.
The Guinness folks.
Nobody knows Guinness. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll boost their sales here in March. It's been kind of sluggish from what I've heard.
So Bill's here from the Dorchester Reporter, as usual. We've got a ton to go through from a news perspective. I think we should dive right in. What do you think?
Let's go.
I don't have any banter for you today.
That's fine. Nobody wants to hear about your Buffalo teams anyways.
Sabres are doing really, really well. Anyway, we've got some development news.
This right around the corner from where we're sitting.
Yeah.
We're on Neponset Ave here at McGonagle's, world famous McGonagle's now. Right around the corner is Minot Street, which folks in Dorchester will know runs between Neponset and Adams Street.
In one direction or another, wherever you happen to be on Minot Street.
There's a couple of different.
Does not actually run through straight any direction.
Right. I think that's how the people on Minot Street like it. They don't necessarily want to be a thoroughfare like Ashmont Street. No offense to the Ashmont Street folks. Don't send me mail. Send it to Minot Street. Minot Street has been one of these heavily residential streets right, in the Neponset.
Lots of three-deckers,
St. Brendan's neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah, there's three-deckers, but there's also a mix of housing, single, doubles, and heavily residential, obviously. And one of the big stories in the Reporter this week is about a new proposal that we've been hearing is coming for about a year or so, but it's now been filed with the city of Boston. It's for a proposed 26-unit development on where is now just a two-family home that's actually a pretty historically significant home from the 1830s.
Is it really?
It's zoned for two.
Oh, okay.
I think that it may just simply be a single family at the moment in use, but it's zoned for two.
It's on a big lot.
Yeah, it's an oversized lot that's been, it's been underused for sure in the sense of like it's got a couple of lots next to it.
Yeah.
The current owner has proposed an additional 24 units, so a total of 26.
Wow.
In 3 new buildings that would go up around the existing building.
Is it that big of a lot? I don't know.
I don't have my readers on, so I can't tell you the square footage. You might be able to see better than I.
24,670.
Right.
Yeah.
So we heard about a year ago from neighbors on Minot that this was in the works. They were worried about it then.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the neighbors did a FOIA request to the city of Boston get documents that weren't public yet at that point, to see what's going on with this site. And as it turns out, they're pretty much spot on what they revealed last year, which we reported on then.
Okay.
This new filing suggests, and by the way, the address here is 39 Minot Street. It's going to be, a pretty controversial project. There's already 2 meetings scheduled. One is a meeting that the neighbors themselves have convened at the Murphy Community Center, the Leahy Holleran Community Center, later on in March. Pope's Hill Neighborhood Group and Cedar Grove Civic Association together. That's likely going to be a very much contentious meeting with neighbors who are against the density here. They just think it's too big for this neighborhood.
No, they are trying to keep the historic building that's there right now intact?
This current plan would keep the building intact, but add to it, and then they'd have these two larger buildings right next to it. I think 4 or 5 stories each.
Okay.
So John Fitzgerald, the city councilor who you've had on the pod,
Friend of the pod, yep.
John Fitzgerald is already out against this plan.
Okay.
And it's likely to have more opposition coming, I would say, from these neighborhood groups. Then there's a Boston Planning Department meeting coming up in April as well. So stay tuned. You can read more about it at .news this week. But one of these projects that just feels like it's going to be a flashpoint because of where it's located, the size of it, and the political opposition that's already being marshaled.
I can't imagine that street having more cars on it. There's a lot of dense parking there on the street, so hopefully something will be addressed there and on-site parking.
It's not clear yet exactly what the parking scheme is, but we'll learn more about it. But these community meetings coming up, the first one's on the March 25th at Leahy Hall at 7 p.m., and the second one is a virtual meeting that the city's doing on April 8th.
Okay. Well, we'll keep our eye on it. More development news, which is actually, I think, better news because it's affordable housing. This is the second phase of Dot Block. Dot
Block at the corner of Dorchester Ave and Hancock Street. There's already a major market rate development there that people will know opened in 2023. That's phase 1, and that's like 250 some odd units at the first building or series of buildings. This next round is going to be all affordable. I believe it's 84 units of housing.
That's a lot of affordable housing.
And it's all in one building.
That's fantastic.
Which some people don't like because they want a mixed use all in the same site. But these are basically adjacent buildings, this next phase.
To the market rate housing.
Right.
Okay.
And this would be along Hancock Street as you go in the direction of Stoughton. Again, it's kind of a compromise solution. The city of Boston is very enthusiastic about this because they're desperate to get new affordable housing online. The good news that just came through in the last month is that the state, Governor Healy, announced that she has okayed tax credits that will allow for the development team, which includes Steve Samuels. Samuel Associates is a big name in Boston. The city of Boston also kicked in $4 million towards this project from its own housing funds to make this happen. So we've talked a lot about projects that are stalled in Boston, even ones that are approved, big ones like Dorchester Bay City. This is one that's been stalled, and this is a breakthrough to get it moving. I have to say it's because it's all affordable that this is happening. And it is good news, especially for folks who are clamoring for more housing opportunities in Dorchester. And what we've reported, Seth Daniel reported this week, is this should be in the ground hopefully by the summer at this point.
Wow, fantastic. Have you been downtown lately?
Have I been downtown? You mean like past Upham's Corner downtown? Yeah, I've been downtown lately.
Did you take the Red Line?
I haven't taken the Red Line recently, but if I'm going to take the Red Line, I'm going to avoid evening hours for the next month or so.
Going to be some delays.
There are going to be delays. The headline is that last Saturday, the MBTA began a 4-week-long phase project to repair a part of the Red Line that got damaged in a derailment back in 2019.
I didn't live here then, but I heard about that derailment, man.
It was in June 2019, and if people are wondering why are we just, 6 years later, 7 years later, trying to make a fix to something that got broken, it was basically a signal box, a big signal box, like the big one. It's at a place called Columbia Junction, just beyond JFK Mass Station. The train ran into it. When the derailment happened, it derailed into this signal box, which screwed everything up. Red Line was offline for quite a while, and shuttle buses everywhere. What they've decided to do here to make this ultimate repair is not do shuttle buses, which is good.
Thank God.
Nobody wants shuttle buses on our roads, especially right now with snowbanks and whatnot, wintertime. So, but it will mean evening delays after 8 o'clock on throughout the schedule over the next 4 to 5 weeks or so.
But not on St. Patrick's Day Parade Day.
No, and not on Marathon Monday either.
Smart.
So they are thinking ahead. Phil Eng, the GM, who everyone still loves, despite the occasional problems on the system, says that this is going to save this by doing that instead of shuttle buses. It's going to save millions of dollars, like $25 million or more in the costs of doing shuttles.
Yeah, because they have to pay for like private coach buses and stuff, right?
Yeah, those big Yankee coach buses that clog everything up, and they have to shut down lanes so they can turn and things. Anyways, be aware of this if you are taking the T, especially in the evenings and nighttime service. There's going to be 15 to 25 minute delays on your regular commute time.
Cool. Well, hopefully they'll get that fixed and we don't have any more derailments. That'd be
a derailment
ultimate,
probably would screw up the works at this point, so let's hope
might.
against those.
Hey, you've got one more story to talk about, and this is about the Forey Foundation.
It is.
That sounds like your last name.
It's my last name. As if there weren't enough Foreys involved in this episode. The Edward W. Forey, named for Ed Forey, who's a guest this week.
Nope.
Not a different week, next week.
Yep.
The Forey Foundation is named for Ed, my dad, and my mom, Mary Casey Forey. And it's really a way to both salute them and to encourage the growth and the sustainability of community journalism, reporter-style journalism here in Boston. Hyper-local. And what we're excited to do this spring in May, actually May 28th, at Southline Boston, the former Boston Globe, we will be hosting a celebration to launch the foundation and to announce the winner of our inaugural scholarship, which will go to a Boston resident who is going to pursue a journalism track education and hopefully a career in journalism. And we're excited to say it's named for our longtime associate editor Tom Mulvoy, who is a Dorchester native from the St. Mark's area, from Lonsdale Street, had a distinguished career at the Boston Globe, ending as the managing editor there, and then has been working with us at the Reporter for the last 20 years. Nice. Tom's 83. He's absolutely essential personnel in the Reporter newsroom. Everything you see in the paper goes through
still working
editing.
Huh?
Oh, he's there several days a week and is on call constantly, saving everybody in the newsroom embarrassment with his wit and his great editing skills. So the big announcement this week is we now have the applications live for the Mulvoy Scholarship. It will go towards college education for somebody who's journalism track. So this is open to Boston students, and the real appeal this week is if you live in Boston or you know somebody who's a senior in high school or maybe already in college and pursuing journalism, this is for them. This is for the kids in our neighborhoods to get them thinking maybe journalism and reporting is something I enjoy and want to pursue. And we're here to support that. It also comes with a fellowship to be basically an intern with the Dorchester Reporter in a paid position over the summer. And we hope to make this something that will go on in perpetuity. Yeah. To really, the whole purpose here of this, Erin, is to get people from Boston engaged in community journalism and get them into newsrooms across America.
Which you've already been doing for 30, 40 years.
We've been doing it in our own way and in sort of an informal way, but we want to be intentional about recruiting kids from Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury, Southie, JP, the Boston neighborhoods. So this appeal is to them. If you're a parent of one of those potential kids, be looking at this. You can find out more at foreyfoundation.org. You can read about it in the Reporter this past week as well, .news.com. Applications are live, but they are the deadline is in April 10th. So
don't wait.
Act now. Go take a look at it. This first inaugural scholarship is a $5,000 grant to the college that you're going to be attending, and it also comes, as I mentioned, with a paid fellowship at the Reporter this coming summer, with training that'll be going on and mentorship that will go on hopefully for many years ahead of that.
Well, congrats on the foundation and
Thank you.
Great work that you all are doing over there.
Thanks.
You know, this recipient could have a photo that takes off on the internet, like the one that you had this week with was it war crimes do not cover up sex crimes or something?
Yeah, protesters on the Savin Hill Bridge. Seth Daniel took a great photo of their display. You know, obviously in reaction to the Iran war that broke out over the weekend.
It didn't break out. We started it.
We did start it. Yeah, we definitely. Yep. And as a result of that, the protesters who often show up on that bridge and make a statement, usually anti-Trump, and we posted it on our Instagram, I think on Monday afternoon. As we're taping now on Thursday, it has 600,000 views.
Crazy.
And a huge number of new followers for our Instagram account. So it went viral.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Hey, do you want to go join those rowdy folks and have a pint?
I'm down.
Let's do
it.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for having me.
Life is sponsored in part by the Dorchester Reporter. Dorchester's own community newspaper and online home for all things Dorchester at .news.com. The Reporter, owned and operated by the Forey family, has been laser focused on Dorchester and the surrounding neighborhoods of Boston since 1983. That longevity and experience shows in its award-winning coverage every week. The Reporter is our go-to source for authentic stories about the people, places, and events that matter most to our daily lives. We are proud to partner with The Reporter and .news. And you can support the important journalism provided by The Reporter. Just go to .news.com to subscribe today. It's the best deal in town and helps keep our local community journalism alive and well. Hey everybody, welcome back to .life. We are having a really important conversation today about immigration. It's been in the news for several months, and we are going to tackle what that means for Dorchester this week on the podcast. And joining me is Jeffrey Thielman, who is the president and CEO of the International Institute of New England. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, Erin.
It's been great to meet you.
Likewise.
Tell us about you. You have a little Dorchester history.
I do, yeah.
Tell us.
So I was the president of Cristo Rey Boston High School, which we moved down to Dorchester in 2009. And so I was president from 2009 to 2015.
And that's in Seven Hill, right?
Seven Hill, right across from the Seven Hill T-stop, right across from McKenna's.
Yep.
So great stop. In fact, a little story is the school was located in Cambridge.
Okay.
We were moving it down to Dorchester. There were some folks writing letters who didn't want our school to move in there. And so I called the state rep, this guy Marty Walsh.
Oh, I know that name.
Yeah. And so I called him up and I said, hey, Marty, I'm getting these letters from some people who don't want the school there. And he said...
Marty did not have any time for that, did he?
No, well, I tell you what he did. So he was state rep then, and he wasn't really that,
But he's from Dorchester.
He's
so
a Dorchester guy. He lived right across from the school. He said, what are their names? And so I read him some of the names. He said, they don't like me either. Let's get together. And so we got together. He came and visited our school. He was really like, I want to meet the kids. So he came to our school in Cambridge. We were moving down there. And then he actually made some phone calls and came to a couple of public meetings. And he did a good job in one of the public meetings where there was some folks that didn't want a school.
Yeah.
Because, there are kids that would do things that they might not like in the neighborhood. So
kids.
Yeah. But it all worked out. And the school's now been there for quite some time. And it's a very successful school. And I was proud to be a part of it for 6 years.
And then where did you go from there?
Well, then I was recruited for this job. So
Okay.
I got recruited to be the president and CEO of the International Institute of New England in 2015. I took over after the school year ended at Cristo Rey. And my job is to run an organization that serves several thousand immigrants and refugees a year. We have offices in Boston, in Chinatown, offices in Lowell, Massachusetts, and in Manchester, New Hampshire. And then we have a little operation in New York City for unaccompanied children. So we offer a wide range of services for refugees and immigrants. We resettle refugees who are folks who have fled dangerous places in the world. They've been lawfully admitted to the United States of America. Our organization places them in housing, private housing that we find for them. We enroll their children in school. We enroll people in public benefits. We enroll people in medical insurance plans. We have English classes for folks, career services, job placement, and legal services. And so we settle people.
Lot.
It's a lot of services. Yeah, we have a staff right now, about 150 professionals in all three sites.
Okay.
It's a team of social workers and English for speakers of other language staff. So we have over the course of the year, 45 different language classes that are taking place, English language classes. Skills training to help people become medical assistants, certified nursing assistants, to enter kind of broad skills training programming. And then a legal services program of 8 people that is swamped right now doing all sorts of immigration legal services work. So
you really run the gamut of everything they could possibly need from the time, even maybe before they arrive, up until...
for refugees, we get a notification of their arrival a few weeks before they come. We're not really involved in all the processing overseas. We don't do that kind of work. The government does that, and then we get a notification they're coming.
And so what are your associations? You must have a lot of different orgs that you also connect with, and how are you connected to state, local, and federal authorities?
Yeah, so We subcontract with the federal government to resettle refugees. We have certain subcontracts with one department within the federal government. It's called the Office of Refugee Resettlement. It sits in Health and Human Services. It's an office that the current administration is trying to defund, but interestingly, Congress did fund it this year.
That's good.
At levels that were equal to the previous year, which was
Surprising.
unexpected. Very much so,
Yeah.
yes. And then we also contract with the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education for our ESOL, or English for Speakers of Other Language classes in New Hampshire. We contract with the state of New Hampshire. We've got about, I think there's 89 different funding streams that we're managing. So
Okay.
that's how you put together a $22 million budget that serves 3,000 or 4,000 people a year. It's a lot of stuff you put together.
Yeah, 3,000 or 4,000 a year, and that's just in really this area that you mentioned. Like
We're a New
Yeah.
England organization,
Right.
so we're New Hampshire, Massachusetts organization, Eastern
Yeah.
Mass actually. So we're when we resettle refugees, we place many refugees here in Dorchester. This has been one of our favorite places. It's a great
Yeah.
place because it's a so diverse place, and we've placed many people here, but we've also placed people in places like Brockton and New Bedford and other places in
Yeah.
Eastern Mass. And then Lowell is highly concentrated in Lowell. Sometimes some of the surrounding cities, and then New Hampshire is a lot in Manchester, New Hampshire.
So what goes into the replacement calculation? Is it the country of origin?
Yeah, so a refugee is someone who has a well-founded fear of persecution. They cannot go back to their homeland. There's over 30 million refugees in the world. You're certified a refugee by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. The United States has signed treaties, or a treaty, saying that we will resettle refugees and we will not send them to a dangerous third country, which
we are currently doing.
The president is doing.
Yeah.
And we've also agreed to have a refugee resettlement program. It was formalized by an act of Congress in 1980.
Okay.
So refugees flee their country of origin. They go to a third country. They stay there. Very few, less than 1% of the world's refugees actually get formally resettled.
Okay.
Resettlement is a process in which you are admitted to the United States of America after careful vetting, and then you are given a pathway to citizenship.
So this is a permanent resettlement, whereas many of them are just temporarily fleeing bad conditions.
Correct. So
Okay.
the difference is, I don't know how technically you want me to get, but a refugee is someone who has been approved for admission to the United States and a pathway to citizenship by federal law. And these are, if you remember the folks that that came from Syria 10 years ago, there's a big group of people that came from Syria. In your Buffalo, where you're from, lots of folks have been resettled from different parts of the world. We've resettled people from Sudan, from the Congo, from Somalia, from many, many different countries.
Okay.
Central America, South America, so Venezuela. Then there are folks who have come into the United States lawfully, I want to point out, through a program called the Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan program.
Okay.
And that is when many, many people from Haiti came into this region between 2023 and 2025.
Because of the political unrest and
there
danger.
was unrest in Haiti.
Yep.
The Massachusetts welcomed thousands of people from Haiti. It overwhelmed our system. It led to a crisis in our emergency shelter system, which was out of the hands of the governor and the legislature, but I think they did the best. They did a good job actually of setting up systems to respond to that reality. We had work that we did in the shelter system. We rehoused people. We provided legal services to people in the shelter system, including many people from Haiti and from Venezuela. So that program, those folks were lawfully admitted to the United States. Then the president ended that program.
Was this the TPS program?
Well, I'll get to that.
Or is that different?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's part of it.
Okay.
So when people came in from Haiti, we and other organizations made sure they had as many legal protections as possible, including temporary protected status.
Got it. Okay.
And so many of those people lost their status.
Yeah.
The federal government said you're no longer eligible to be here, even though Biden had let them in lawfully. And so all of a sudden they couldn't work. We were applying for temporary protected status for many of them. Many of them got temporary protected status. Then the government wanted to end it on February 3rd. Then there was a court ruling
that they had to
on February 2nd saying you couldn't end it.
That's a limited statute, right? It ends in like June or something. Or this ruling.
Right now there's no definitive ruling. So the court has said just stay tuned. Basically, what the court has done is said you cannot deport them.
Okay.
Right now. And we'll let you know what's going to happen.
Boy, that leaves a lot of people in limbo.
It does leave a lot of people in limbo. I think one of the things we've seen in the Haitian community is incredible strength, a lot of vitality, and a lot of they're all helping each other.
Yeah.
It's interesting. we distributed what's called refugee cash assistance checks at a church in the state of Massachusetts. I don't want to say which city. I don't want to get too. I don't want that known. But and hundreds of people showed up. And we did this, distributing what's called the refugee cash assistance check, which they're eligible for. It was on a monthly basis. Hundreds of people would come up, and then you would hear stories about how people are living with family and friends, and they were sleeping on couches, and everybody in the community was trying to help each other survive.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there are more of them. There are more of us rather than of them,
right.
of those who are opposed to immigrants and refugees. There's more of us on the right side of the issue.
We're just not as loud sometimes.
Yeah, we could be louder. We could always be louder.
Yeah, so you don't really work with economic immigrants. You don't work with folks who come because they want to find a new life here.
There are some people in our services who have fled their country of origin for economic reasons, but most folks have come here because they're fleeing persecution.
Yeah.
They're fleeing persecution, a terrible situation. So people from Haiti can't go back to that country because of the violence there. So that's actually what's happening.
Got it. Okay. So what are the main populations that you've resettled in Dorchester? Is there a country of origin that tends to be?
Dorchester, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, let me be clear. People from Somalia, we've helped families from Haiti find housing in Dorchester. We've helped people from Venezuela, from Central America, all countries rather, in Africa, Asia. 2021-22, we resettled hundreds of people from Afghanistan, families that were part of the U.S. effort in Afghanistan. They were partners with the United States government. They left. About 90,000 people fled the country.
Okay.
In August of 2021. With the support of the U.S. government, they were admitted to the United States, and we did resettle some here in Dorchester.
But that specific population that was working closely with the military is also suffering right now with Trump administration policies, right? Pulling back some of that.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're not processing green card applications of many Afghans right now. They're not allowing what's called a group of people that were admitted, have been lawfully admitted, called special immigrant visa holders, that are outside of no longer in Afghanistan. They're in other countries. They're not paying for their flights to come here. We're part of a national effort to try to get that changed. These are folks that work with our government. They should be allowed to come into the country.
Yeah.
So
they've been thoroughly vetted, maybe more than even some American citizens who were born here, because they're working with the military.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that people don't understand, like a refugee admitted to the United States goes through 14 different vetting processes. Wow. Vetting steps before they're admitted to this country. 14. We have, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, they're vetted as they live in this country, because they've got to follow the laws in order to get a green card. They can't have criminal issues. And so the facts are pretty straightforward, that immigrants actually commit crimes at a lower rate than the domestic population. Yeah. As evidenced by actually people in the prison system in the United States. So, there's a myth.
And even like the small, traffic-related misdemeanors and things, they're punished much more harshly for than a citizen would be, right? So, that could be deportable offenses.
Well, right. So, there was an act passed by Congress which we opposed, called the Lake and Riley Act, which basically said you can be deported, you can be detained and deported depending on how long you've been in the country, if you have been charged with a crime, not even convicted of a crime, which is totally un-American, and we've opposed it. And there's certain, litigation taking place to try to overturn that.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's happening right this moment. So we're kind of past the worst of the Minneapolis news headlines and things that were happening there, but we're not immune. And I think that we've seen ICE activity in the area already, but I think there's probably a very strong likelihood that we'll see more and more focused on Boston, Dorchester soon. How is your organization kind of prepping for that? And let's get into, let's talk about how you're prepping for that first.
So there's two things that are important to understand. Number one, our organization is getting in touch with as many of our clients as possible that were brought into the United States of America under the Biden administration, because they're the ones under attack.
What? Because the most recent wave of folks who came here? So that's the top.
So the Trump administration is focused on those folks, right?
Okay.
And so what they're making, so what we're doing is we're reaching out to folks. We're reminding them of their rights.
Yeah.
We're reminding them not to let anyone in their home unless they have a signed judicial warrant. We're doing family preparedness plans, which is basically helping people to have a family plan in case you are detained and you have children in your house. Essentially, what's the plan to take care of them? So we're doing a lot of that preparation work right now. In addition, we have joined a lawsuit against the federal government that was filed in federal court last week, called Jean et al. Versus Noem, who's no longer a Secretary of Homeland Security, but it would apply to her successor.
Wait, she's not. Wait, since when?
About 3 hours ago.
What?
Yeah.
That's breaking news.
She was. Yep. Well,
Wow.
We break news right on this program. This is,
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what the lawsuit is about? The lawsuit, and by the way, litigation is not our standard form of advocacy. I just want to make sure that people understand it.
We're in different times.
Yeah, we're an organization designed to provide direct services to people, designed to help people learn English, get jobs, integrate into the community. That's what we do. Yeah, that's our job. And we do some advocacy. We advocate for funding for our work at the state level. We join in advocacy nationally, and we have a lot of advocacy going on in New Hampshire right now because there's a series of anti-immigrant bills that we are fighting against. And so what happened here is the federal government on February 18th, Kristi Noem's department, Homeland Security, issued a memo stating that they were going to detain refugees who had been in the United States for 1 year or more who don't have green cards. And you cannot get a green card unless you've been in the United States for a year, and they're delaying processing all of the green card applications of refugees and other populations from the 39 banned countries that Trump has. And so we basically were alarmed. We had a couple of conversations at the national level. Our organization has contacts nationally. We were in a conversation with the International Refugee Assistance Project and Democracy Forward, and we joined a lawsuit with a couple. So that's Jewish Family Service of Western Massachusetts, our organization, and 6 refugee plaintiffs who are around the country. It's a class action lawsuit to try to stop this policy from going into effect, because if it goes into effect, we will have another Minneapolis situation right here in Boston very, very soon. But basically what this policy is saying is we're going to do what we did in Minneapolis. We're going to pick people off the street who are refugees. We're going to put them on a plane. We're going to take them to Texas or some other, mostly Texas. We're going to re-interview them there, and then we're going to release them if they don't have a green card. And that is insane.
Release them? What do you mean release
just
them?
If they pass the re-interview, they're going to just release them in Dilley, Texas. That's what happens.
And then they have to find their way home.
They have to find their way home. So a friend of mine runs a place called the International Institute in Minnesota. It's a sister organization to ours. And that's what happened to her clients. And so we are filing this lawsuit to stop it nationally, and we'll see where it goes. It's been filed in federal court. These things take time, and hopefully we'll get this stopped.
I want to talk about the rights of immigrants. I know you don't just do legal representation, but that's a big part right now. So what are some things that you talked about, not letting people in without a warrant, and, what other things should they be thinking about, and what things do they not know they have the right to that they should know?
Refugees and immigrants have a right to an attorney. So they don't have a right to an attorney in most cases to be provided to them, depending on their status, where they are on their status journey in the United States by the government. But they have a right to an attorney, and they should consult an attorney. They have a right to due process. I think that's one of the most important things to understand. They have the right to full due process, just like you and I have.
Well, what happens when they aren't afforded that? What should they do?
They need to they can contact organizations like ours. They can contact other organizations, and they should try to get to a lawyer any way they can. That's absolutely essential. And I think it's important for organizations like ours to be their advocates. Because many of them are very scared right now. They're not. Kids are not going to school to the extent that they need to go to school in many cases. Anytime there is an ICE action, the next day. Schools are empty of immigrants and refugees. There's an article, there's a recent report that came out the other day in which the Department of DESE, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, reported that the state is getting less federal funding because the number of ELL, English language learners, has gone down. And the reason why it's gone down is kids aren't going to school.
Yeah, it's not that they've gone away.
Right.
They're still there.
They're still there. I have a good friend of mine who works at one of the school districts around here as an ELL director.
Yeah.
And he has reported that the number of kids are way down because of all of the ICE activity. And that is sad and wrong and not good for society.
And the long-term knock-on effects of that we don't know what those are going to be.
Oh no, they're tremendous. We can tell when
Yeah.
kids don't get an education in school, when people don't go to doctor's appointments,
Yeah.
it has a long-term effect on
Right.
people. Absolutely, for sure. People are the thing that people need to understand about this administration and their policies as it relates to immigrants and refugees is that they are making us less safe collectively. All of us, okay, not just refugees and immigrants. They are making us all less safe. The case in point is everything that happened in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I told you, my friend who runs the International Institute of Minnesota, she was very clear that not only she said to me one time, it's worse than what you see on television.
Really?
Because they were everywhere. ICE and the Border Patrol agents were everywhere. 3,000 of them in a small area.
Yeah.
3,000, military people come into your
With their
city
faces
or town.
covered.
Right.
Yeah.
It creates havoc. It creates nervousness.
That's by design.
It's by design.
Yeah.
I guess it's by design. They gave confusing directions to drivers many times. She experienced this as well, where different ICE people were telling to go left and go right. They weren't coordinated because they didn't know what they were doing, and so they are making us less safe. This whole thing is making all of us less safe. Make no mistake about it.
Well, and then you look at the long term, like what will our society look like with fewer immigrants, fewer people who are willing to do the work that we need immigrant populations here because we can't find people to do that work.
Right.
If they don't have the education that they should be getting, if they don't have the health care, like there's so much that is weakening our society, whether it's safety or just the structure of it is being weakened.
Yeah. So I mean, that you make an excellent point, Erin. So what's happening right now is not good for the economy long term.
No.
There are a number of studies that have shown that refugees and immigrants coming into the United States actually has decreased our deficit over time. It has prevented inflation. You can say what you want about all the folks that came in during the Biden administration, and you can say it should have been better. I believe it should have been better organized, by the way, during the Biden administration, because we were at the brunt of it with thousands of people coming in to Massachusetts, and we needed a better system and more funding, more money to Massachusetts. But the state had to spend money rather than the federal government on folks that came here. And so we are... what we're seeing is when the number of refugees and immigrants coming into the country decreases, and you have negative migration, meaning more people leaving the country than coming into it, you're losing tax base, you're losing future employees, you're losing students who are going to stay in our school system or stay in the universities and add value to our society. So this is an economic issue as much as it is a moral issue.
Right.
And we have in New England an aging workforce.
Yeah.
We have people that are, we just have an aging workforce in this region and all over New England. We just do. And so
fewer people are having kids.
Fewer people are having kids. The domestic population is not having kids at the same rate as their parents did. That's a fact.
Yep.
And, that means you have fewer workers. This city, Boston, which I came to for the first time, I came before, but I came to go to college in 1981, was not the city it is today.
Yeah.
And it became the city that it is today because of immigrants coming here.
Right.
29% of the population of the city of Boston is foreign-born. 22% of our workforce in Massachusetts is foreign-born. 1 out of every 6 residents or more right now are foreign-born. So if you don't have that talent coming into this area, you've got an economic mess on your hands.
There are countries who kill for immigration.
Yes, exactly.
Look at Japan. They're really struggling.
Exactly. So immigrants are the lifeblood of our whole economic system. They're the lifeblood of our country. I'm all in favor of comprehensive immigration reform.
Yep.
I once asked Adam Schiff when he was in the Congress, I was at an event with him, and we were talking. They have an International Institute of Los Angeles, a sister agency right in what was his congressional district. And I said, what do we got to do to get, immigration reform? And he said, we need a president willing to expend political capital.
Yeah.
So, somebody's got to have the courage to step forward and put forward comprehensive immigration reform.
Well, they also need a Congress that will sign things.
And a Congress that'll motivate it through the Congress, right? That'll pass through.
So you talked briefly about what happens if a child gets or a parent gets picked up by ICE, and what happens to the family? So can you tell us?
Yeah, I can tell you some examples.
Yeah.
We have right now in one of our programming. I won't get into detail. I found out today about a mom with 2 children who is, from Brazil, and her partner was picked up by ICE. So you have that family has lost lost revenue.
Yep.
That family has lost a dad who was, a father to the children. That the family's all of a sudden destabilized for no reason at all.
Right.
And that happens time and time again. And it is not making us safe. The other thing is that the Cato Institute, which is a conservative think tank, has reported that the number of people being detained have not committed violent crimes. A very small percent, like 4% of the people detained have committed violent crimes.
Yeah.
When President Trump was running for president, he said that we're going to get these violent criminals.
Yeah.
So I think it's a direct quote. Violent criminals off our streets who were foreign born. Or
Yeah.
he probably said it in a meaner and uglier way.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. So that is not happening.
Don't you think if that was as easy as he made it sound, we would have done it already?
Yes, yes, exactly.
They're not just sitting there hanging out saying, "I'm a violent criminal immigrant, come pick me up."
Exactly. I mean, what he did was he exploited what he saw at the border. I've been on the southern border a couple times. I was on the southern border in June of 2024. It was very quiet.
Yeah.
After Biden issued an executive order that limited the number of people that could cross. There were good systems in place to stop people from coming in.
He just took too long to do that.
He did. Yeah, I think probably some political mistakes were made about this whole issue. And
Yeah.
he kind of had I think he had a different perspective about what the immigrant community really wanted. When you talk to folks who are immigrants to the United States, I lived in Peru for 3 years out of college. It was what's called a Jesuit International Volunteer.
Okay.
So I was there for 3 years in Tacna, Peru, and loyal affinity to people from Latin America. But people, and so I speak Spanish, and I talk to a lot of people in that community all the time, and we have staff from that community. They want the system to be. They want legal immigration.
Yeah.
They want more. They want expanded legal immigration.
Right.
That's one thing. But what is happening right now is designed to terrorize people and to get people to leave the country.
Right.
That's what it is, and that is not what people voted for. Even those who voted for Trump.
Right. Right. So you talked about these kids. I think there was an incident in Minneapolis where the father was picked up, and then the son didn't have anybody care, so they picked up the kid too, and now he's in detention. What are you seeing specifically?
I think they're out now. I mean, So we've had all sorts of things happen. We have an unaccompanied children's program, and so that's when in the unaccompanied children's program, this is for children who cross the southern border on their own as unaccompanied minors. So they come for different reasons, and they've really limited the crossings, but there are still people, unaccompanied children, who get through the border. And there are still kids in the shelter system run by the federal government that get referred to us.
Okay.
Our job, our team's job, our social workers, we have a team of 12 social workers, Spanish, English speakers, work primarily in Massachusetts, but also some in New York, as I said, and some in other states, in New England. They what their job is to do a home study, make sure the home is safe for kids, and provide post-release services after they're released from federal custody to a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, foster care sometimes. It just depends on the situation.
Okay.
So we have had situations where the families that we have served have had members detained, including at least one incident that I'm aware of where a child was detained briefly by ICE. And so that kind of stuff is not cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think maybe some of the president's most ardent supporters are all in favor of that, but I don't think most Americans are.
No, I don't either. Stephen Miller is. But.
Yes.
So with the idea that we're probably going to have some focused attention on Massachusetts and primarily on Boston. I think Trump even said that in the State of the Union, something about us being a fraudulent state, which is ostensibly the reason why they were in Minneapolis. What do you expect?
Look, if our lawsuit is successful, I expect they're gonna have to follow the law, and so they're not going to be able to detain people the way they did in Minneapolis.
But wasn't that already illegal?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But they just and then by the way, the groups that we're working with, Democracy Forward and the International Refugee Assistance Project, filed suit successfully in Minneapolis to stop what was called Operation Paris.
Okay.
So they stopped a lot of the stuff they were doing, but it took a while, right?
Yeah.
You filed a lawsuit, then the court issued a ruling that only pertained to the state of Minnesota.
Okay.
What we're trying to do with our suit is to stop an Operation Paris, or stop what we saw in Minneapolis from happening all around the country, including here in Boston.
But do you think they've learned from the Minneapolis situation to do something differently, but equally maybe as
Yeah, I do. I
nefarious?
mean, from what we're hearing is they're just being more careful,
Yeah.
but they're still picking people up. And so
Right.
they're still terrorizing neighborhoods and communities. So it hasn't really, from what I'm hearing on the ground, it hasn't really died down.
Okay.
I'm sorry, there's fewer agents on the ground. That
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
People are breathing a little bit easier. I think the people of Minneapolis won, and I think the Trump team lost.
And I think that's obvious, and I
Yeah.
think they took a black eye on it.
Yeah, they did. I think the people fought back and said, this is not how we're going to treat each other. And I think it really pushed them back and caused them to rethink things. Hopefully, our lawsuit gives them pause. We'll see. Obviously, you really don't win in a lawsuit until there's a ruling from the court. But sometimes when a lawsuit is filed,
It sends a statement.
It sends a statement to the government that, okay, you guys are gonna violate the law. We're ready to go.
Yeah. A lot of the folks in Minneapolis, first of all, nonviolent protest
Yep.
was the lay of the land.
Yep.
A lot of non-immigrant citizens going around and helping monitor for ICE activity. I know Loose is a network that's
Yep.
here in
Great
Boston.
organization. Yep.
They recorded incidents. What other things can people do?
I think what you outlined, Erin, are the best things.
Okay.
First of all, record anything. So, what we're telling people is, if you see something, take video. Don't be afraid. Just take the video.
Are you at risk if you do that?
I think if you get in their faces, you've
Or
got to be
you
very
obstruct.
careful.
Yeah.
You really, if you cannot obstruct a federal arrest situation. So you can't obstruct any law enforcement situation, federal or state. You just
Okay.
can't do that. So if you do that, that's a violation of law.
And when you do that recording from a distance,
Yep.
what do you do with it?
So I think you share it on social media.
Okay.
You can send it to groups like us. You can also send it to Loose. This is
Okay.
a great organization. I stopped by last night in Arlington. I happened to be in the church in Arlington, and there was a Loose meeting going on. So they're going on all over the place.
Yeah.
And they'll share it and get the word out. And
And
so,
Loose is doing trainings here in Dorchester. I know they're doing
Yeah.
some virtual trainings. If you
Yes.
want to be a Loose spotter, which is helping spot
Yes.
agents and report it,
yes,
you
Loose,
should do that.
Great. We totally back what Loose is doing. Loose
Yeah.
is doing all sorts of great stuff, and I cannot thank that organization enough. It's like totally volunteer-led, very organic. It feels like to me, I'm not inside it.
They grew up so quickly
Yes.
in the last 6 months. I
Yes.
mean, they have like a proper press contact now.
Yeah, no, they're the best. And
Yeah.
so I'm really impressed by everything they're doing, and they're absolutely needed. Now, hopefully, hopefully this has to stop. We
Yeah.
can't keep living like this, and especially in a state like. Trump wants to target whatever state he wants to because of whatever's going on in his
Because
head
we
at the
didn't
mo-
vote for him.
Yeah, well, okay, that too. But I mean, I think that what we want to do is remind the government to follow the law.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that through lawsuits like the one we filed, and other organizations have filed too. And you can do that by documenting
Yeah.
what is happening, taking video, by getting names. If you know the person who's detained, any information you can find, that's fine. Here in Massachusetts, there's a law in the legislature being proposed, and I know there's a conversation going on between both the House and the Senate called the Protect Act.
Yep.
That bill could be very helpful in preventing people from entering preventing ICE from entering courthouses. There's already an executive order by both the governor and the mayor to prevent ICE from staging in property owned by the state or the city.
Okay.
Good stuff. So I think a lot of positive actions have been taken by our state leaders at the state level and the city level that I'm proud of. And
How
hopefully-
insane is it that they go into courthouses where there are immigration hearings for people following the law, following the process, and they pick them up? Like evil.
Yeah, it's evil. It's all evil. And so I think it is essentially what has happened is a small group of people believe that the United States of America is, on the wrong path because so many immigrants have been led in over the past, 50 years.
Yeah.
Right. So the immigration laws changed in 1965. There was a very restrictive law put in place in 1924 called the Nationalities Act, which limited immigration to 2% of all nationalities per the 1890 census. that kept the country as white as possible and as few immigrants as possible, such that the immigrant population went down from about 15% when that law was enacted to about 4.5% by 1970. A law was enacted in 1965 called the Immigration and Nationality Act. By the time it was implemented, then all of a sudden the immigrant population started increasing. The complexion of the country changed. That bothered some people. Doesn't bother me. I think it's a great thing. And don't forget all that talent that came in for education, for higher ed, etc. Medicine built this economy. And so these folks believe that was wrong. They want to reverse history. They are upset and sad about the diversity in our country. They don't like it. They want a pure culture. And Stephen Miller says things like, you don't have a country. I totally take exception to that. Actually, I would say that despite the government and despite the laws that we have in this country, we actually do immigration pretty well on the ground because people meet each other from different backgrounds. They meet each other from different countries. They, go to Boston College.
They thrive.
And where I went, and they meet somebody who's from another country, another culture, another race, another religion, and they fall in love and they, start a life. And so that happens all the time, all over the United States of America, in every city and town across this country. You see people from different cultures who have come together and created a family and something beautiful. And the government right now, the leadership of the government doesn't like that. They want some pure ideology.
Blood and soil.
Which is just terrible. And actually, it's contrary to what's happening on the ground. And I believe, as I've always, as I learned from that church down in Massachusetts, I don't want to say the city because I don't want ICE looking at it. Is that there are more of us than there are of them. There are more of us who believe that immigrants and refugees are good for this country, good for Dorchester, made Dorchester what it is, and are needed.
Practicalities. Do you think there are places that people should be avoiding if they are at risk of being picked up?
So this question comes up all the time from our clients. They make their own decisions. I don't, we tell clients, really, please get your kid to school. Same time, they're very fearful, especially if there's an ICE action. That's sad to us. We tell people you got to go to your medical appointments. We have some volunteers who drive people to medical appointments and to work and all that.
Is that something folks should do? Is it? I know that's a little fraught.
I can't. It's like telling a parent what to do and something with their own children. It's not easy, and I don't have the right answer for every family. And I know every family has to make a hard decision. They do. They have to make terribly hard decisions, and they make their decisions based on what they know and their own guts and their own hearts. And they consult their friends. They might get advice from us, from our organization, but a lot of them are in a network and they're chatting and calling each other up, and they're like, okay, let's not send the kids to school tomorrow. That literally happens. A bunch of moms, dads, just like any other parent, just texting away. What are you going to do? We're not sending them to school. Then all of a sudden,
too risky.
Then dozens and dozens of kids don't go to school the next day, and they're like, okay, I'm not going to my dentist appointment. I'm not going to my medical appointment. I don't want to get out of the house. So we tell people to carry documentation with them, to carry identification with them. If they have any documentation that shows they're lawfully in the United States, to share it and to have it ready. We tell them that ICE can detain them without a warrant if they're in public. They cannot do that in private in their homes.
I hate to think of the isolation that.
It doesn't really. Causing. I mean, there are some people I hear stories of people that haven't left their house. Rarely leave their house now, and so that's a horrible way to live, and it creates a level of fear and loneliness that cannot be healthy for people.
No. What gives you hope? I guess Christy Nome being out of.
You know what? Okay, so look, there are, in my job, there are moments of there are highs like, oh God, wow, I just went to an English class, and this woman who I met is, started out 15 weeks ago, didn't know a word of English. Now she can say a few words to me. Like, 'cause I feel good about things like that, little things, which aren't a lot, but that's a lot. That's significant for that person. When I hear about a client who gets their first job in the United States, we had an iftar at our office the other day, and these guys were all Dorchester guys. And I sat at their table. I tried to sit at all the tables at this event, and then I sat at their table, and I was talking to them, and they have jobs at the airport, and so they're happy. They're making money. They're trying to get as much overtime. Some of them have second jobs. Typical immigrant story, right? They're working all the time. And so there are highs, and I'm like, oh, this is great. These guys are safe. They're happy. They're secure. Then, of course, one of them tells me I'm waiting for my green card application to be processed. Do you have any word on that, Mr. Thielman? I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, sir, we don't. So then there's, the news here I heard today, right before I got on the car to come here, of one of our person in one of our programming whose partner was detained by ICE, and so that makes you sad. So you go from this high to sadness.
Yeah.
And do I have hope? Yes, I do. I have hope because I think that the law is on our side. The district courts have been favorable to us. It gets to the appeals court. It doesn't always go as well. The Supreme Court has been
iffy.
Tricky. Yeah, it's been tricky and disappointing on immigration, very disappointing. And so I have hope that in the long run, this country cannot be successful without immigrants and refugees.
And there are enough people who believe that.
And enough people believe that, or businesses that believe that, business owners. So I believe in the long. So what gives me hope is the long run.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the short term, it's downright depressing.
Is there anything you would say to folks who care and want to make this happen? Anything they shouldn't do? Like things that are harmful that they are doing with well intentions, but maybe are actually making things worse?
Nothing comes to mind they should not be doing.
Okay.
I personally feel that people should speak out.
Okay.
They should say, this is wrong. They should tell their neighbors and friends, this is wrong. They should contribute to any organization they want that does good work. They can volunteer with an organization like Loose. We're always looking for volunteers. Our volunteer work is not the kind of advocacy that Loose does, which is excellent.
Okay.
Ours is more of, English tutoring, job coaching, helping people prepare for job interviews, that kind of work. And so one is to get involved, stay engaged, stay informed. Don't just duck out of these issues. And I guess I do try to have perspective, which is Donald Trump will not be president forever. It's hard to believe right now. There are the majority of the American people like immigrants and want immigrants to come here, and eventually the majority's wishes will be honored. So that gives me hope.
Mr. Thielman, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Today's episode is supported by The Record Co., Boston's leading provider of accessible music creation spaces. The Record Co. is addressing a critical shortage of affordable creative spaces in our city, serving more than 4,000 monthly users across 131 communities. They preserved almost 48,000 square feet of professional studio and rehearsal space at rates up to 90% below market value, ensuring Boston's musicians have a place to create regardless of economic needs. Through partnerships with Bunker Hill Community College, offering professional certification programs that lead to sustainable music careers. This vital work is at risk. As creative spaces continue to disappear across Boston, the Record Co. needs community support to maintain these essential resources. Their Amplify Boston campaign directly funds space preservation and career development programs. Visit therecordco.org today to donate, to become a monthly supporter, or learn about partnership opportunities. Every contribution helps keep Boston's music ecosystem thriving. The Record Co., creating accessible pathways to music creation since 2010. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dot Life. We're joined for the Tiny Dot portion of the show by a few members of the band The Femmes. Hey, how are you?
Hi. Good. How are you? Thank you for having us.
Great. Thank you for coming in. So introduce yourselves if you don't mind, and then tell me more about this band that is usually much bigger.
Yes. My name is Ellie. I'm one of the lead singers and also the founder of the band.
I'm Bailey, and I'm one of the other lead singers.
I'm Kelsey, and I usually play bass, but I'm playing guitar today.
Awesome. And this is three of how many typically are part of the show?
Yes, so we are typically a much larger band. It depends. We have 14 members total, which is a lot of members.
Yeah.
But the point of the band is to be basically the women and non-binary party band for the Boston area. So we have a pretty large roster. Sometimes we play with that full 14 piece at Crystal Ballroom. Usually we're playing with anywhere from like 5 to 7 people at a time.
Got it.
And that roster sort of rotates in and out.
That makes total sense.
Yes.
So whoever can do that particular gig will join in, and you're like nimble enough that you can swap and like accommodate who's ever playing that
yes
event.
Yeah.
That's
and we have
impressive.
a pretty like standard set list of all our favorite women and non-binary artists.
Okay.
And so then the whole band knows that set list. We practice a lot together, and then we can sort of mix and match different gigs.
You may be hearing a little bit of polka music or
Yeah.
whatever that is. It's quite catchy. We might go dancing after this. Depends on how we're feeling. You're not from Dorchester. You, Ellie, are originally.
Correct, yes.
But the band now is centered around...
It's all over Boston, really, because we
Okay.
have 14 members. So
Yeah.
some people we live in Roslindale right now. Kelsey lives in Jamaica Plain. We have some Cambridge people. I don't know the furthest band members.
Beverly and Saugus. We've got a few
Wow,
members.
okay.
Rhode
Yeah.
Island, right? Or Grace
Oh
is
yeah,
on the
all the way
border.
to the bottom of Mass.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you cover Eastern Massachusetts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The preeminent LGBTQ non-binary feminine band.
Yes.
We say New England.
New
because
England.
Yeah.
Easier.
Yes.
Easier to explain.
Yes. But yeah, we're all over the place. And we rehearse actually at the record company, which is in Dorchester.
This not
Different
this one,
record
the
company.
other,
Yes.
the other location,
Yes.
yep, the Mass Ave location. So, talk to me about that identity of being LGBTQ and non-binary. Why is that? How did that come about? And what is the importance of both having a band like that and playing that kind of music in Boston?
Do you wanna
That's
take
a lot
this
of
one?
questions in one.
Or you want me to do it?
It's about the founding, so you should.
Yes. I think it's very important. I'm personally identify as a lesbian, and I had played in a lot of GB bands. So like what people would consider to be like wedding bands, party bands, like all covers. And it was a very heteronormative space,
Yeah.
which is fine for people who want that. But for me, like I was like, whenever I get married, I want a band that represents me.
Yeah.
And just like the music was really important to me. The spaces are really important. I think like it's turned into much more than just a wedding band. We've really created a space where queer people can feel safe and seen. And that's really important to me personally. And I think all of the members of the band feel similarly because most of us are members of the community or allies. And it's just been really cool to see that like this thing that I thought I was like, this would be cool if we did it, has turned into something that pretty much most people in the queer community in Boston know about, come to our shows, and like I think it's impacted a lot of people.
Yeah. Do you only play music by similar artists, or is it open to kind of whatever vibes with
Yes,
that?
good question. We play all women and non-binary musicians. Sometimes some men sneak in there. I feel like we just are like, there's songs that the band likes, and we're like, fine, we'll make an exception. We've done a lot of Jonas Brothers, which is funny to me. We also do Troye Sivan, who
It's a
is
great
like
exception.
some like queer men as well. So
Okay.
like Troye Sivan, or queer non-binary people, like Sam Smith. We've done some of Sam Smith's music, but we definitely try to tailor that set to like either LGBTQ artists or like gay icons. Like we do Whitney Houston, of course.
Yeah.
So much.
Some Madonna, Lady Gaga. So we're really tailoring ourselves. Like if you went to a gay bar, you'd probably hear our set, but we're playing it live.
Yeah, I've heard your sets many times at gay bars.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
And that's the goal.
Yeah. That's awesome. There's typically 14 of you ish, or there's a total of potentially 14 of you. Do you have enough studio space like that? How many instruments is that in town? Like I'm looking at our equipment for this set, and like I don't know what it would be called to quadruple or whatever, but like that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It can get tight sometimes.
It does get tight.
Yeah.
We have like 2 people at least for every instrument.
Okay.
So sometimes it'll be like switching off during rehearsal, or, we'll kind of all be playing along a little bit, and we get like the biggest room we can
Yeah.
a lot of the time. So
You don't have 2 drum kits going though. Like you switch. Okay.
Maybe one day if we have a big enough stage.
Yeah.
But for our Crystal Ballroom shows, we have our drum kit and then an aux percussion setup, so
Nice.
that when one drummer isn't the main drummer, they're out there shaking a tambourine or a maraca or something. So
Or playing the bongos.
everyone's busy.
Yes.
Cowbell.
There's no offset or off pieces. Like you're on. If you're here tonight, you're playing every single song.
Yeah, if you don't
Some people
see-
switch.
If you don't see Kelsey on stage, it's Jamie, our other bassist. But there is one song where you go and what do you play? You do the cowbell.
Oh yeah, for like Lady Marmalade. I usually will hang back on aux percussion with our drummer for like those, or Jamie will do that too, just for fun. Like there's
Yeah.
a million parts we can play. So
Please tell me you do Blue Oyster Cult on Cowbell Night.
I wish. That would be fun.
Tell me about the different instruments you have. So drums, guitar, bass. Are there any like abnormal, like brass? Any brass players? Okay,
yeah. So when we
strings?
have the big band, we
Yeah.
have 3 horn players.
Okay.
So a full horn section.
Very cool.
But yeah, it's pretty standard. And then too, sometimes for our bigger shows, we'll have more vocalists, which I personally am a fan of because like me and Bailey really love to harmonize. And so adding like a third or a fourth vocalist gives you just like, you can do all of the big diva stuff. Like Kelsey mentioned, like Lady Marmalade like needs multiple vocalists. So that's really fun. And Ty, who plays drums, also sings. So then sometimes she'll add layers there. But yeah, it's drums, bass, guitar, keys, horn section, and then multiple vocalists.
Awesome. Tell me about these Crystal Ballroom nights that you're mentioning. This is a thing? This is
Yes.
an ongoing thing?
So the Crystal Ballroom in Somerville is one of our favorite places to play. We did our first show there in 2023, I think, or something like that. And we've been playing there like every few months ever since because they're just a great spot. But yeah, we've started to brand them in different ways. We do a pride party every June. We do gay prom now, so our second gay prom in February. We actually work with White Claw and Glendalough Distillery, I think, to get like custom cocktails, and
That's awesome.
It was a whole event, and we had people dressed to the nines. It was really fun, and so we're gonna start doing that every year. But yeah, and then we also do our pride party, and then we do pop punk night too for some of our more hardcore fans.
Yes. And I think that's cool too because it gives like different audiences can get different things. And particularly with the pop punk, I find it interesting because it's a very male dominated space. And so we are sort of like taking that and reclaiming it in a cool way.
Yeah.
And we found that people really enjoy that one too. Like, and that's a smaller group because you don't need horns really for most pop punk. So we do like a 7-piece for that.
Okay.
That's 2 guitars, keys, bass drums, and 2 vocalists. But it's like it's fun to get different crowds for the gay prom and the pop punk, and like we get to
we like to lean into LGBTQ does not mean that you have to like Chapel Roan.
Exactly.
It's not a requirement.
Yes.
It's a likelihood.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
So the Crystal Ballroom shows are regular, and people can check your website, socials. Okay. What other shows do you have?
We do a lot of queer events throughout the year, but mostly during June, I would say. During Pride, lots of festivals we've done, or private parties. We're doing a lot of weddings. I don't know, what else?
Well, we also like to travel.
That's true.
So we've been really prioritizing that because like there's a good queer scene here, but there's also lots of different places that have good queer scenes that we can get into. So we've been doing some gigs in Nashville that's been really fun at a bar called the Lipstick Lounge.
Oh, nice.
Which is like their lesbian bar there. That's been really fun. We're going to be traveling to New York. We have some gigs at $3 Bill. So we're bringing our gay prom like across the East Coast.
Nice.
Hopefully one day we'll do like a West Coast kind of tour. We would love to travel more. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity there.
Palm Springs.
Yes, exactly.
Somewhere warm.
Yes,
Yes, please, somewhere warm.
Yep.
And we play a lot at Midway as well, which is in
JP.
Jamaica Plain.
Yep. Okay.
So we do a smaller show there, and it's usually a theme night. So we've done like a variety of themes from like songs on TV. What else have we done there?
Well, our first pop punk night was actually at Midway Cafe, and we blew it out of the roof, and so now it's at a much bigger venue.
Yeah.
But we also have done Pop Princess Night. As Seen on TV came through twice, and that was a lot of Disney Channel. Okay. Which was really fun. I can't remember.
Do you do karaoke?
We've
Midway?
been to karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah. I am
It's a good spot.
I'm a big fan of the karaoke myself. I used to go a lot more like before I started gigging more regularly.
Yeah.
And then now that I'm gigging, I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't go sing on another night.
Wasn't
but
it
I
at
love
the
it.
Milky Way for a while? Or was it at
Yeah,
both
before.
Midway and the Milky Way?
I think it was before, right? It
Yeah.
was at Milky
Okay.
Way. I actually saw you perform at a karaoke before I even knew you, and I like
wow.
subbed for your other band. And I remember I was like, this girl has to be a professional singer. There's like no way that you can hit those notes and I'm gonna dance with somebody. And it was
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that 2 of the songs that you have on your set list tonight are on my karaoke list, but they would never sound the way you sing them.
Wait, which ones are they?
Zombie and What's Up. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that,
Good
what
choices.
will you be playing for us tonight?
Yes. So we're going to be doing Red Wine Supernova, Dancing on My Own, Born This Way, What's Up, and Zombie.
That's a great list.
Yes.
I feel
they're
like
the
you're very
hits.
fun. Like you, even when you sing like maybe not so fun songs, you have fun doing it, and that's awesome. Like it's kind of a party all the time.
It really is. I mean, at least for me, a lot of these songs are my favorite songs of all time, and then I get to do them. I think that's also the benefit of being a little bit of a more niche version of a wedding band is getting to do songs that I'm really, really excited about.
Yeah.
So versus the Mr. Brightsides of the world, which no hate. We still do that song actually, but a lot of people request it. So just
Or like the electric slide or whatever the wedding standards
Exactly.
are.
I would
Yeah.
love to do cha-cha slide at a wedding personally.
Well, let's do it. Someone request it. Hire us for a wedding, and we will do the cha-cha slide.
Yeah. If you're wondering about our song selection process, this is it.
We decide in the moment.
Do you do any original work or is it all covers?
We do all covers as the Femmes, but some of us have our own original projects.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear you play.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Live. We are the Femmes.
Begin the song.
She was a playboy, Bridget Bardot. She showed me things I didn't know. She did it right there, out on the deck. Put her canine teeth in the side of my neck. I'm in the hallway waiting for ya. Mini skirt and my go-go boots. I just want you to make a move. So slow down, sit down, and snooze. I just wanna get to know ya. Guess I didn't quite think it through. Girl, fell in love with the thought of you. Now I'm choked up, face down, burnt out. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. Okay, let's pick it up now. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, fall right into me. I like you like what you like. Long hair, no bra, tight. That's right. You just show me, want me to love you, baby. I will, 'cause I really want to. I just wanna get to know ya. Guess I didn't quite think it through. Nah, girl, fell in love with the thought of you, and now I'm choked up, face down, burnt out. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. Okay, y'all, let's pick it up now. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, fall right into me. Well, back in my house, I got a California king. Okay. It's a twin bed with some roommates. Don't worry, we're cool. Well, I heard you like magic. I got a wand and a rabbit. So, baby, let's get freaky, get kinky. Let's make this Vegas squeaky. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, fall right into me. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, fall right into me. Somebody said you got a new friend. Does she love you better than I can? There's a big black sky over my town. I know where you're at, I bet she's around. Yeah, I know it's stupid, I just gotta see it for myself. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm right over here, why can't you see me? Oh, I'm giving it my all, I'm not the guy you'll take it home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I keep dancing on my own. I'm just gonna dance all night. I'm so messed up, I'm so out of line. Stilettos and broken bottles, I'm spinning around in circles. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm right over here, why can't you see me? Oh, I'm giving it my all, I'm not the guy you'll take it home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I keep dancing on my own. So far away, but still so near. The lights go on, the music dies, but you don't see me standing here. I just came to say goodbye. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm giving it my all, I'm not the guy you'll take it home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I keep dancing on my own. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm right over here, why can't you see me? Oh, I'm giving it my all, I'm not the guy you'll take it home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. 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 Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm one of the lead singers of the Femmes, also a Dorchester native, which is very exciting to be in the Dot Life concerts. Thank you for having us. This is Bailey.
Hi, I'm Bailey. I'm another lead singer. I'm not from Dorchester, and I'm sorry.
I'm Kelsey. I usually play bass, but I'm playing guitar tonight. So
Nice. Kelsey actually produced our album, Raining Femmes, which Dancing on My Own is on. So she's a bassist and producer.
And acoustic guitarist.
And acoustic guitarist.
Multi-talented woman over there. We are also a very, we are an LGBTQ plus band. We play at a lot of queer weddings. We do a lot of gay pride events. So this next song is really important to us. It was one of the first songs we ever learned, and it slaps. So here we go.
It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M. So put your paws up, Dorchester, 'cause you were born this way, baby.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause you made you perfectly. Just hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in a way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't let yourself in regret, just love yourself and you said I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Give yourself prudence and love your friends, so we can rejoice your truth. The religion of the insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. But if a lover is not a sin, believe capital H-I-M. Hey, I love my life, I love this record, and me amo e forever. I'm beautiful in a way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself in regret, just love yourself and you said I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Way, way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, you're black, white, beige, or Lunasen, you're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast for leader teens, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this way. No matter case, racial violence, being transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, or Orient made, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in a way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself in regret, just love yourself and you said I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, I was born this way. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Hey. Years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world is made up of this brotherhood of men, for whatever that means. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed, just to let it all out what's in my head. And I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey. try. Oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution, and I pray. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day for revolution. So I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, wake up in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream for the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, wake up in the morning and you step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream for the top of my lungs, what's going on? 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. Another head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence cause such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are crying with their tanks and their bones, and their bones, and their guns. In your head, they are fighting. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, 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 hey. Another mother breaking heart is taking over when the violence causing silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bones, and their bones, and their guns. In your head,
dead. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, oh, 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 hey,
Thank you for listening to Dot Life, which is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Dot Life is produced and edited by me, Erin Caldwell. Technical support is provided by Yasser Mahmood and Connor Forey. Additional support is provided by the Dorchester Reporter and the Record Company. Thanks to Jeff Thielman, Bill Forey, and the Femmes for joining this week's show. Thank you for listening, and we'd love it if you could share, subscribe, rate, and review the pod wherever you listen. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, visit .lifepod.com for more information.